like this,
but
this is where you define. This is where you find out really what you're made of. Aiden Hutchinson doesn't even let Alvin Kamara get back to the line of scrimmage.
This game against New Orleans.
It's gone from a gimmick, kind of a gadget early on in his time in New Orleans to the best part of their offense. And now Kamara loses two. Jack Campbell there to stop him along with Hutchinson.
Like that. And just one more. Why not?
It is Taysom Hill. Got away from Hutchinson, but then got popped at the line of scrimmage by Jack Campbell.
There has been a lot of change to the Detroit Lions defense over the 2024 offseason, not only on the defensive line, but also revamping the defensive backfield for a second straight season. However, the linebackers have pretty much remained unchanged, and I believe that's because the Lions took a chance with pick number 18 of the 2023 NFL Draft to find their guy. Thank you guys very much for returning for another video. I am your host, Johnny Gaz. Today, we're going to continue our player profile series by outlining middle linebacker Jack Campbell. Let's go. But before we talk about the caged lion, make sure to like the video if you dig the vibe here at Johnny Gaz Sports. Hit that subscription button and notify bell so you don't miss any future videos here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for the recent support. We are officially on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Thanks to you. I appreciate and love talking Lions football so much with you guys. Thank you. There is now a membership option on Johnny Gaz Sports. You will see exclusive content like the video you see here today, as well as all of the surrounding top 10 lists and all of the fun that we've had here recently. Thank you guys so much for your support. Let's get into today's topic. Jack Campbell was born August 22nd, 2000. Entering the 2024 NFL season, he stands at 6'5", 243 pounds. Currently a mammoth, amazingly athletic middle linebacker. But let's take it back. Jack Campbell is the ultimate Iowa kid, now turned man, as we'll hear in just a little bit. He was born and raised in Cedar Falls, Iowa, also attended Cedar Falls High School. Now, we just got off a video last week talking about another Iowa kid, Sam Laporta. However, he's actually born in Illinois, whereas Jack Campbell was actually born and raised in Iowa. He was a state champion in basketball at Cedar Falls High School, and if you look up that team his senior season, the basketball team, there are athletes all over the place, including current NBA player AJ Green. So he does win a state championship in basketball, but his ultimate passion is football. And from a very, very early age in his high school career, he just became a tackling machine. And that sort of carries on through his history as a football player. But it starts there at Cedar Falls High School. Ultimately, he ends up going on to the University of Iowa and has one of the more historic linebacker careers there at the university. He's a two-time first-team All-Big Ten 2021 and 22. He was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year in 2022. He was a unanimous All-American that same season. He was the 2022 Butkus Award winner, as well as the William V. Campbell Trophy recipient, which is basically the academic Heisman. So not only was he fantastic on the field, but he was fantastic off the field. Looking into Jack Campbell further, this is a guy that is surrounded by faith, surrounded by family, and he is truly humble. If you look into any interviews, any articles written on him, anything that he has said or did, he is one of the most humble humans I have ever run into. And we're going to talk about that more as we get into his future and where I see him going. But as with many other Lions players, he was also a team captain and obviously a leader at the University of Iowa. So Jack Campbell leads a fantastic 2022 Iowa Hawkeye defense, putting him in a position where he's talked about as a late first round, early second round linebacker talent. Ultimately, the Lions take a chance on him by selecting him 18th overall in the 2023 NFL Draft. This was after already selecting in the first round running back Jahmyr Gibbs at pick number 12. If you think back, after that first round of the 2023 NFL Draft, the Lions organization was just destroyed over the fact of taking these players outside of their positional value. Taking a running back at 12, a linebacker, off-the-ball linebacker at 18 is almost blasphemous in the eyes of the media at that time. Now, we have the fortune of hindsight now, and we know the talent that is Jahmyr Gibbs. And I'm going to sell you on the talent that is Jack Campbell here today. But those picks were heavily criticized at the time. So going from there, the Lions truly show this draft philosophy in action. And we've talked about this so heavily on other videos. All of our mock drafts that we did, mock draft 1, 2, and 3, anything leading to this year's draft, I've heavily focused on the culture and the Lions drafting philosophy. They are not afraid to pinpoint guys that they feel are culture guys for the Lions, and they will do what they need to do to get their people outside of positional value, outside of using future draft picks or current draft picks in the same draft to move up to get a guy that they feel is a difference maker, a game changer. And I think ultimately all their other picks would prove this to be true. And not only with the Jahmyr Gibbs pick in that same draft at running back, but go back further with guys like Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, so on and so forth. So this culture, this draft philosophy in action is playing out again here with Jack Campbell on that 18th pick in 2023. Already at the Mike linebacker position for the Detroit Lions is Alex Anzalone. And I have a lot of love for Alex Anzalone. He's been a team leader. He's really been the heart of the defense. He's the guy that makes all the plays. He's the green dot guy. And that is the guy that ultimately is going to tutor Jack Campbell, and that's really what happened through the season in 2023. Jack Campbell was able to learn behind Alex Anzalone, learn the defense, learn the calls, and did see more time over the 2023 NFL season. I think ultimately, as the Lions coaching staff started to, trust that he knows the defensive system, they trust his athleticism. I think ultimately, again, he started to see more time, and that really held true through the end of the 2023 season and even into the playoffs. Jack Campbell actually finished second on the team with total combined tackles at 95. That was just behind Alex Anzalone. Ended up with 5 tackles for loss and 2 sacks on the season. Again, in limited time until we got towards the end of the 2023 season.
Let me tell you, first off, he's a man. He's a grown man. He's really taking control of this offseason the way he should take control of it. He's a true Mike backer. He's a guy that lives, breathes green dot mentality as a Mike backer.
So here's a quick snapshot of the Lions depth chart. And if I'm going to talk about the transition and what I kind of see as the future for Jack Campbell, let's first focus on Alex Anzalone. And this is not me pushing Alex Anzalone out of this Mike linebacker position, but I think ultimately the Lions see Jack Campbell taking over for Anzalone there in the middle. Truly, and I think even Alex would tell you this, is Jack Campbell is just a much better athlete than he is. I think Alex Anzalone has hit his ceiling. I don't know if you're going to get any higher level out of him. And I think he'll maintain his level of play. I think he's certainly got some good seasons still in him. But truly, the idea of taking the linebacker at 18, especially one that's so athletic and has so much upside, is that he's going to take over for Alex Anzalone. And I think it happens sooner than later here in 2024. We just heard Aaron Glenn talk about the man that Jack Campbell has become. He's starting to learn the defense, and he will take over the green dot and ultimately be the Lions' middle linebacker of the future. I really see that happening. And then you have still Alex Anzalone and the crew there that is the ultimate heart. Again, carries a lot of true veteran leadership and will still be a huge piece to the linebacking crew. Derek Barnes seemed to step up towards the end of the season, so I think, again, he's on the strong side as your starting linebacker. And then you have some depth there still in Jalen Reeves-Maven, who we know the Lions have a lot of faith in special teams, and also re-signed him because he's given them so much over many seasons with the Lions. I think in 2 different stints, believe it or not. And then we know about the Cowboy. Malcolm Rodriguez is still on the depth chart. He's really, again, going to be hopefully that secondary piece behind Anzalone, behind Campbell, to really just bolster the depth in that room. So I see really good things for the Lions linebacking crew in 2024, and we'll talk about Jack's role a little bit deeper. If you want to talk about a true Dan Campbell guy, a true Detroit Lions culture fit, I think that Jack Campbell fits the bill. If we're talking about the caged lion, I think this is the man that makes a true difference, not only in 2024, but beyond. I think the fact that he is sort of being overlooked, I would say in a sense, because he hasn't given as much as the other draft picks in 2023, and that's really only because situationally, one, I don't think they needed to just push him into the middle linebacker role because they had Anzalone, but also they know they don't need to rush this. Learn the defense. Give him everything he needs tools-wise to be able to take over and be this ultimate player that I think he can be. Coming from Cedar Falls High School, through the system in Iowa, we talked about his faith, his family, his utter humility of life, but he is a true workaholic, and again, he's a Motor City Dan Campbell guy. He's the Detroit culture fit to a T, and I think this really could be an organizational changing player, even more so than some of the pieces we've talked about on previous videos on offense. A lot of that was just continuing the success. Well, we know the Lions defense has been their trouble spot over the last several seasons, if not longer. Well, a guy like Jack Campbell could be the difference. I think he shows himself as one of the better linebackers, young linebackers in football this year in 2024. I see all of his stat lines increasing significantly. I think he leads this team in tackles. I think his sack numbers increase slightly. And you could see things like an interception here or there come into play because he's so athletic. He's got speed. He's got power, but I think it's learning to harness that, learning to work with the other pieces on the defense to truly bring out the best in this uncaged Lion. So what are your thoughts on second-year linebacker Jack Campbell? Is he going to be that final piece to the defense? Is he going to be the leader, the future leader of the Detroit Lions? Let me know what you think in the comments. I so much appreciate all the love and support on the recent videos. I love talking Lions football, and I appreciate everyone for getting involved. We are officially on the road to 1,000 subscribers, thanks to you guys. Make sure to hit the like button on the video if you dug the vibe here today at Johnny Gaz Sports. Hitting that subscription button and notify bell is the best way to make sure you don't miss any future videos here on the channel. We also have a membership option now available. You will see a ton of more content just like this video here today, top 10 lists, player profiles, all of the content that you've grown to love here on the channel will be there for you. I so much appreciate all your time. Have a fantastic day. I will see you guys very soon.